video. Today we are back in the alternative future world, part 13. In the last video, again, not much happened. The League of Asian countries invaded Xinjiang. Some more countries joined the Afghan order, and I think that's it. So let's just get into this episode. So, yeah, I've told you already in part 12 what's going to happen. The Axis and the League of Asian countries are going to be preparing for this war for a little bit. But not actually all of them are going to be involved, it's just the ones that border these countries. So all the countries that border these countries have been invited to this war. So yeah, that includes Pakistan, Xinjiang, Russia, Finland, Germany, and Romania. Now, what countries are they going after? If you haven't watched last video, why are you watching this one? Well, this thing, which I guess is Belarus, Lithuania, Ukraine, and probably the biggest of them all, China. Now, there is one country that could be a bit, confusing why they're not going after it. That's Manchuria, because, I mean, to be honest, other than, Brazil, that's really the Axis is the last place to go. Oh, yeah, don't forget Sweden. Although, I don't really know if they would invade Sweden, but yes, they're invading Sweden. So, this is going to alarm the Allies. Obviously, didn't they join the Afghan order? I'm going to have to recolor that. This is going to alarm the Allies, because the Axis knew, and the League of Asian Nations, the countries knew. Nobody else knew. The entire world didn't even know this was happening. Even these countries didn't know. Obviously, they wouldn't know. I mean, they knew they were doing something, because there was military access going around on the borders. They were preparing for World War III, but that didn't happen, because we're looking here, yep, their plan was to invade all these countries. So, the strongest of them all is China, but even then, China's weak. Not weak, they're getting there. But, Germany is about to completely slap all these guys. So, German troops are gonna invade into Belarus are just incredibly fast. Finland is gonna send troops down to Lithuania, which is, I mean, you know what's gonna happen to Lithuania. Lithuania is the first one to collapse. Ukraine, probably the strongest out of all these guys, is getting absolutely getting destroyed by Russia, and I'm gonna call it Russia. That's gonna be the name now. But they get absolutely destroyed by Russia and Romania. Belarus is just, I feel bad for Belarus. Look at that border. So within 1 week, Belarus is completely annihilated. And for Sweden, yeah, they were gone. They were gone pretty much right as the war began. Sweden didn't want any of this business, and to be honest, I'm going to put the blame on Sweden there. That was Sweden's fault. They should have joined the Allies, but they didn't. I'm not going to blame these little countries down here, because, well, it's not really their fault. Now, I got that out of the way, because we have to focus on the biggest one, China. There isn't really much support going in. Well, there is, but compared to, you got to realise that the support going in over towards Germany wasn't anything, because Germany was already going to be enough to wipe out all those countries within the first place. But there has to be support coming in over here, because this is China. Xinjiang, who just was invaded, is not going to do very well. I mean, they're going to be able to take some of this land, and anyway, this is kind of still their land they're taking. Russia's finally going to enter in through Mongolia and help Xinjiang finish off what they were doing. And Russia's now going to focus on the task to capture Beijing. Yeah, the capital of China is now Beijing again. I'd say this is near modern-day China, to be honest. And let's just say Russia is doing quite well. I mean, China, I would say China's not even in the top 10 or top 20. Their military is still really small and all that, because they just got released from Japan. You gotta realise they were pretty heavily under the control of Japan. So the Russians are just kind of sweeping through the land right now. So yeah, this is not looking good for China at all, and the Allies actually are they're worried. But attacking the Axis is not a smart idea. You don't want to do that. You're not strong enough yet, but they can't. Nobody's going to join their alliance. Pakistan and Xinjiang are struggling to push through, to be honest. It's not the easiest job they're doing, but they're getting there. And we actually see something interesting happening, and that is Tibet breaking away from China. Now, this was totally not funded in any way formed by the League of Asian Countries. I'm joking, it was. Tibet, I'm pretty sure got invaded by somebody. I think it was Japan, but I forgot if it was. They are gone, so yeah, it had to be somebody. But Tibet will rebel against China, even though it never wanted to, but sadly, when you send some fake news about stuff, it kind of makes it happen. This big chunk of land is taken, and at this point, most of China is gone. China will finally fight back and push back the Russians as best as they can, although the Russians are probably one of the top 10 strongest countries. And we have a wave of Russian troops coming down and capturing Beijing. And at this point, it's more of just watch a collapse trying to happen. Within, only, I'll say, a month, there's just sweeping campaigns across all of China. And eventually, China will eventually finally collapse in on itself, surrendering over to the Axis. That's not good. Well, League of Nations. League of Asian Countries. That's not good. Let's take a look at this massive peace treaty. So, in the peace treaty, oh my god. First off, Europe doesn't look much different, except from the fact that nearly every country is in an alliance. Finland didn't take that much land, because they're kind of done with their expansion. Finland has nowhere else on their border to go. Finland took, a piece of Latvia and a piece of Belarus. And they also took a little bit of Sweden. And one, you might be wondering, they could have taken all of Sweden. Why didn't they? I said again, Finland doesn't really want to expand anymore. They were just asked if they wanted to join the war, and they said yes. Germany took quite a bit of land. They took parts of Belarus and Lithuania. Romania got not much land, but quite a bit. They got this piece of land, which Germany and Romania kind of have a bit of an argue about. But I'm pretty sure that land used to actually be owned by Romania, a little bit of it. So Germany gave it to them, and then they got basically Ukraine. Russia took a piece of Belarus and Ukraine. Now you might be thinking, Would it have made sense for Russia to get most of this land? Well, yes, I can agree with you there. But the reason they didn't get much of that land is because, yeah. So, first off, by the looks of it, the League of Asian Countries didn't expand that much on this, but you'll see their expansion is going to actually be quite big. Xinjiang became, well, kind of Xinjiang again, although they have still got some land missing. They took a big chunk out of China, and Pakistan took a little bit of land. And Pakistan looks really weird. They're expanding up into China now. And Tibet was released, and Tibet actually was just released. They didn't have the option to join the League of Asian Countries, but they do anyway, because they do. And we can see that this alliance is now massive. Look how big it is. All the way from Chad, all the way over to the Tibet. God, that's a thick alliance. Thick. But Russia, they took a big chunk out of China. And China has been left down to really just all of this and Taiwan. They don't have much left. But now, at this point, all of the countries over here, except Japan, are starting to realise that if they don't join an alliance, they will die. And none of them want to join any of those big alliances coming in. I mean, the League of Central Asian Countries, sure, you can join it. But first off, Korea is going to be joining the Allies. I don't really think this is much of a surprise, to be honest. Also, anybody realise that Korea looks similar to what it did in Season 1? China will join the Allies. I don't blame them. I don't really want to repeat what just happened. Southeast Asia will not be joining anybody. Bangladesh will not be joining anybody. Philippines is actually going to join an alliance. I know, surprising. They haven't really done anything this whole series. Philippines will put themselves in the Allies. Do I need to explain myself? The USA. I don't think there's any other explanation why they would join. And the rest of these guys are going to stay neutral. So, yeah, a lot of neutrality just went over here. But, to be honest, most of it used to be Japan. And Manchuria has not joined the alliance. That could be a mistake in the future. Some of South America is starting to get a bit worried after what they just saw. Because, sometimes with big alliances, they take turns. So if the alliance is kind of, split, one side will do one thing and then the other side will do another. So just like this, nothing has actually been seen about Brazil or Nicaragua preparing for a massive war. But it could very much happen. And the Afghan order is also starting to get a bit worried because if the Axis wanted to, they could completely destroy the Afghan order. They have the strength to do it. The Afghan order is not attack on attack all lines, but they would definitely unite together against the Axis. Why would you let your countries fall one by one to the Axis and then completely die? We are starting to see now that these two alliances have kind of reached their peak of expansion, but their expansion has been massive. The League of Central Asian Countries is, at this point, done with their expansion. I mean, they don't really have anywhere else to go other than the Afghan Order or the Allies, so none of those are their good options. And, the Axis, Manchuria, or South America. They don't really want to do either. Now, sure, I can imagine at some point, if they don't do anything, Manchuria, Russia will just yoink it and take it for themselves. But as it seems, neutrality is dying, and a lot of countries are preparing themselves for World War IV. At this point, the world knows it's going to happen, but they just don't know when. At this point, there's not really many countries left that have to pick a side. All of Africa, if they would have to pick a side, it would be the African Order. South America would probably be all the Allies. But see, South America doesn't want to join the Allies. They want to stay neutral. Mexico and Central America would probably be weird. The Caribbean would be all allies. But I think Mexico would honestly be the Axis. I'm not even joking now. Greenland, Iceland, Ireland, and Caledonia, then Greece. Do I need to explain? Allies. Fun event that's gonna happen for this video is oh, what I forget it. Oh right, a country is actually gonna join the African Order. No country in Africa though. Yep, I just said it. A country outside of Africa is joining the African Order. Why, you may ask? Well, it's because they're changing their name to the Peace of Order. Yeah. They're calling themselves the Peace of Order because they don't want any more wars. It's sign that Africa shouldn't be focused. It should be allowed to anyway join because they have been getting some requests. And this is going to become, I guess, a neutral alliance. Ireland is one of them. Ireland will finally end the neutrality and join this alliance. Next one is going to be probably a bit surprising to a lot of people, but Manchuria will join this alliance. And this shows that a lot of countries have been wanting to join this. Papua New Guinea will be one of them, because they haven't done anything this whole series. And that will be it. The only other countries that you can really add is Paraguay, Peru, and Mexico, because they are the others have actually, Greenland. As you can see, Europe is nearly all on one side. Iceland, Caledonia, and Greece are the only ones left to pick a side. Although this African Order thing might not last forever. Especially because the Soviet Union, Russia, is now planning on invading Manchuria. That could be interesting. And as well as also the League of Asian Countries is preparing for an invasion of Sudan and Ethiopia. So, yeah. The Allies immediately figure out about this. Switzerland actually figures out about it. And, let's just say it's near its end. Everybody's now preparing because the African Order has just turned... The Peace of Order has just turned itself into a full-on... attack one, attack all alliance. So all these countries are no longer neutral. They are attack one, attack all. And we can see that the 4 alliances left in the world have just had a big split. The African... fine, Order of Peace. Peace of Order sounds dumb. Order of Peace and the Allies are now on one side. And then you have the Axis and the League of Asian Countries. I'm going to be honest, that to me seems like a pretty equal fight. USA, Australia, Canada, UK and France, as well as Norway and others combined, pretty even. With also, DRC, Angola, Sudan, Manchuria, Morocco. But then you also have the countries that haven't chosen a side, but To be honest, all of South America is gonna probably join the Allies, I'm just being honest. Which would mean that Brazil and Nicaragua are in for a fun time if they ever get invaded. Anyway, that'll be it for this video, and I'll see you in part 14. We're near the end of the series.